everyone, welcome to my live voice. I'm going to be going over all my favorite pens of 2019. I have selected 5 different pens and I'm going to start with 5th place and go to 1st place. These pens are honestly all my favorites, so even the one that's going to be up at the top in 5th, it's still an awesome pen. I'm also going to be going over the pros and cons of each pen. Starting off with my 5th place pen, I chose the Pilot G-Tech C4. This pen it's a great pen, and something I like about it is it's easy to obtain. I found this at my campus bookstore, and I think you can get it at places like Target and whatever. So it's not too hard to find, which is nice for a good pen. One of the things that I like the most about this pen is it doesn't smear if I highlight over top of it. So I'm going to be using this little piece of paper right here as my highlight test. I'm going to write down the name of each pen, that way you can see them next to each other and the size of the ink and the quality of the ink, but once it dries, I'm going to go over it with highlighter so you can see whether it smears or not. So you may have already noticed while I'm writing this out, the Pilot G-Tech is a good pen, but something I don't like about it is it is very inconsistent in its ink. And what I mean by that is when you start writing, it kind of takes a while to get the ink flowing. Like you have to like when you scribble on a piece of paper and you're trying to get the ink to work, you kind of have to do that with this pen. To show you kind of what I mean, I was doing my weekly spread, and here's when I started using the G-Tech. You notice the ink is very thin, but as I started using it and started planning for January 2nd, I did this all on the same day, I was pre-planning. Notice how this is thinner and this ink is a little bit thicker. So like I said, I started using the pen here, and then as time went by, more ink started depositing on the page, and this is more true to how the Pilot G-Tech writes. So I don't really like that this pen takes a little while to get the ink flowing, and that's kind of why I put it in 5th place. If it was more consistent in the ink, it would have been way up higher in my ranking, but because of that, I wanted to put it in 5th place instead of 3rd, 2nd, or 1st. So the Pilot G-Tech C4. Going over the pros. This pen does not smear after you highlight it over it, which is very nice, especially if you're doing notes. This pen is also easily accessible. I like gel pens a lot, so I enjoy that this is a smooth writing experience. The ink is smooth, it feels like a gel pen, but it also feels kind of combo. It feels similar to a ballpoint as well. You kind of get the best of both worlds with this pen. Going over some cons of this pen, I don't like the inconsistent ink. The other thing that I don't like about this pen is I have like 3 of these pens that I will alternate between when I'm taking notes. I literally have 3 next to me, because after you use this pen for a while, the ink will like run out, but like you'll have full ink, but nothing's coming out. It's kind of like you wear it thin. So I have to keep switching in between pens. So like, for example, I'm writing. 10 minutes later, it stops writing, and I have to switch it out for another G-Tech. And then I'll write with that one, then it'll run out. Then I kind of go back to the first one and give it a few good shakes, which is kind of frustrating, but it's a good pen, but inconsistent ink really bothers me. Other thing with this pen is it has expensive refills. I don't really understand why. I was on JetPens looking at how much the refills were, and they were kind of like $3 it seemed, which is kind of dumb because the pen itself is like $2, so I don't understand why the refills are more expensive. And refills are pretty important to me because I don't want to have to keep buying the pen over and over again because that's just more plastic going into the ecosystem. So I prefer refills instead of buying the same pen over again. And we're all on a budget, so you want cheaper options and you don't also want to contribute to the horrible plastic problem that's going on. Moving on to my 4th place pen. Yes, it is the Muji Gel Pen. You guys probably know this pen because everyone in the bullet journaling, Studygram, StudyTube, whatever community uses the Muji Gel Pen. Originally, I thought this pen was highly overrated, and sometimes I still think it is, but I still like it. It's a good pen. Personally, I like to use it in the 0.5 size instead of the popular 0.38, and I have that somewhere over here. There it is. People prefer to use the 0.38, but personally, I find that to be too thin. I prefer the 0.5 size, and I found that writing with the 0.5 tip was a lot more enjoyable. The ink was nice and smooth. It's great. The ink is consistent, which I cannot say about the Pilot G-Tech. So that is why the Muji Gel Pen got 4th place. So going over the pros of the Muji Gel Pen. Muji Gel Pens are very affordable. They are about $1.50, I think, online on the Muji website, but on Amazon they tend to be a little bit more expensive because Amazon's a little bit more accessible than the Muji website, because on Amazon you normally don't have to pay shipping if you have Prime. They do have refills, which is awesome because their refills are also only $1, so you save 50 cents and you don't need to keep buying the same pen over and over and over again, and then you have like 10 of these. There's really no need for that. Like I said before, smooth ink. It's a beautiful writing experience. It's enjoyable. Going over the cons of the Muji Gel Pen, it is harder to obtain. The places that I commonly get the Muji Gel Pen is through Amazon, but you can get it from the Muji website as well. But Muji stores are only really in popular cities like New York and I don't know where else, but I live in the middle of nowhere, so there is no Muji around me, so that kind of stinks and it makes me sad. The thing that people know Muji a lot for is the pen ink smears a lot, and it makes me so sad. Looking at my other spreads, let me see, where can I find a good one? I have like a smear on like every single one of these pages because of the Muji pens, but I like the writing experience so much that I just kind of ignore it, but it is kind of hard to ignore when it smears. So I will add Muji Gel Pen to my list and we will highlight over top of it and see how it compares. Moving on to my 3rd pick. It's my baby, Papermate Inkjoy Gel Pen in 0.5. This pen got me through college. It made taking notes lovely. I enjoy taking notes because of this pen. I love this pen. I have gone through maybe 5 of them, and all my roommates knew that this was like my favorite pen. I love this pen. If you took this pen from me, I would cry. I'd cry like a baby. Now, I probably should have grabbed a new one because I haven't touched this pen since college, because this is primarily a note-taking pen, not really a bullet journaling pen. And the reason I say that is because it's this gel pen that kind of does deposit a lot of ink, so you do normally get bleed through and ghosting with this ink, so it's not the best for bullet journaling, but for writing notes, love it. So, pros of this pen, if I haven't said it enough, the writing experience of this pen is lovely. I love it. It is the smoothest gel pen I have ever used. I could compare it to the Pilot G2, but the thing with this pen is it doesn't deposit as much ink as the G2, so if you don't like the G2 for that reason, try this pen out. The other thing that I like about it is it has a very comfortable grip. The pen also looks more expensive, I guess, when it really isn't. Like, going off of the smooth ink, it's very consistent. When you draw a black line with this pen, it's consistent. It's black all the way through. There's no thinness, there's no thickness. Now going over the cons of this pen. It does have no refills. So when I say I've gone through 5 of these pens, I have gone through 5 because I can't really refill them. This pen can sometimes be a little bit expensive because you can't buy the refills. And I think this pen runs around $2 to $3. It does go on sale a lot in the big packs. For example, you can buy packs of these pens and get them for a more affordable price rather than buying them. Oh my God, my hair, stop. Rather than buying them as singles. Another thing that I don't like about this pen is that there isn't a variety in pen tips. It's very limited. There is no fine tip option. It mainly comes in 0.5 and 0.7. The 0.7 is way too thick in my opinion. Like, oh my goodness. I find it very hard to use. And the last thing that I don't like about this pen, like I said before, is it does bleed through, which stinks. But I think it does depend on what paper you're using, but if you're using a moleskin like me right now, actually that doesn't look that bad. But when you're using notebook paper for your notes, it always bleeds through, which stinks and it makes me sad. Moving on to the number 2 spot, I have the Pentel EnerGel Clenna. This is not the OG Pentel EnerGel because I don't have that one. I'm planning on getting it for my pen haul that you guys wanted to see from me. But this was sent to me by Jet Pens to try out, and boy, is this a awesome pen. This, honestly, I would put it as my number 1, but we'll get into why I have it as number 2. But this pen is wonderful. Honestly, I don't know how well it's gonna write on here because it is out of ink because I love it so much and I haven't bought it again. I have to buy a refill for it. Oh my God, this is not doing this pen justice. I should have bought it before doing this pen review or my favorite pens, but alas, here we are. I swear this is a wonderful pen and everyone that has bought it loved it as well. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Because I want you guys to see how good this pen is. I'm going to buy it again for my pen haul, and then you guys will see how beautiful this pen is because it's magnificent. EnerGel. Oh my God. Look how sad it's writing. Ah! Don't think that this pen is going to make it through writing out the pros and cons, so I'll leave it right here so you guys can admire it, and I'll write in with Pilot G-Tech because it is a quite comparable pen. Oopsies. So this pen is also in the 0.4 size. So talking about why I love this pen so much, there's honestly a crap ton of pros to this pen and I'm going to run out of space. So, starting off, this pen is so smooth at writing. It's a beautiful fine tip gel pen. It writes, oh my God, you have to experience it. It's lovely. It's just, I can't say enough nice things about this pen. Smooth ink, very consistent. I'll put that under one line. Consistent ink. You never have the issue that you have with the Pilot G-Tech where it fades in and out with the ink, and that's why the Pilot G-Tech is way further down and the Pentel EnerGel Clenna is in the number 2 spot because it is consistent and smooth ink, fine tip, gel pen. Yay. This pen also does not smear when you highlight over it, which is great. It makes me very happy. Now, I'm not sure whether this pen comes in different sizes. I forgot to do my research on this one. It might. I'm not positive. I'll have to look into it, but the 0.4 is a very great size in my opinion. It's not too thin. It's not too thick. I wish I could show you, but like I said, the pen is dead. The refills for this pen are quite nice. They are about $1.25 on Jet Pens, and I'm planning on buying some more refills for this pen, and I might get some different colors because I love it so much. And they have a yellow body pen, and yellow is my favorite color, so I really want a yellow one. Now, it can be expensive if you buy the whole body of the pen, which you'll probably do for the first time buying this pen. It's about $3 for the body, but like I said, the refills are cheap, so you still kind of win in the long run. The other thing I don't like about this pen is it's kind of hard to obtain. You have to basically order online because I think it's really only available in Japan. The sticker on here is all in Japanese. I've never seen this in stores. I also want to say that this pen lasted me a very long time through many, many notes of anatomy, microbiology, many biology classes. This pen lasted a dang long time. So that's another thing I like about this pen. So moving on to the pen I have in my number 1 spot. Everyone give me a drum roll, please. Shake my table. It is the Pigma Micron by Sakura. Now, this pen looks like crap because I use it a lot, and the little ink body, or whatever you want to call it, the labeling kind of rubs off, but this is a great pen. I honestly don't know if you would call it a pen, but it has a felt tip, it has archival ink, and this pen rocks for bullet journaling. For note-taking, not so much because it is more of an art pen, but this pen has never failed me. This pen is excellent. Personally, I like to use this pen in the 0.3 size for writing. It may be a little bit too thick for you guys, but the thing that is awesome about this pen, and one of the hefty pros for this one, and why it earned the number 1 spot, is it comes in many size options. I have it in the 005, I think it's like 0.005. This pen is a thin boy. It writes very small, which is nice if you want to do doodling or anything. You really allows you to do a lot of details. This 0.005 is really, really great. I also have it in the 0.08 size. So that is not all the sizes that they come in. They come in a lot. They normally come in packs, but I know at places like Michael's and craft stores and art stores, you can buy them individually, and that's how I decided to go about it. So Pigma Micron comes in many sizes. Another thing that I like about this pen is it is easily accessible. You can find it at really any art store. I bought mine at Michael's. I found them at my school bookstore when I was in college. The ink is always very consistent, unless it's drying out, of course, but that's like the case of any pen. Cons to this pen: there is no refills for it. You do have to keep buying them, which is a bummer. The other thing is the nib at the top does start to wear down after you use it. You probably can't really see it that well, but it's a tiny little nub. So with this pen, the nib might dull out or run down before you actually run out of ink, which is kind of a bummer. So if you write very hard, this might not be the pen for you because you might end up destroying it, which would stink, right? So you got to be careful with that. I'm gonna write that down as like degrading nib. That sounds like an insult. Degrading nib. The other thing about this pen is it can be expensive. It will run anywhere from $2 to $3 for this pen. It does tend to run in packs, and because there are no refills, it can be pricey to continue using this pen. It is great for bullet journaling, but like I said, I do not really recommend it for note-taking. I also realized that I forgot to continue writing down the pens that I was listing for the highlight test, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, but exclude the Pentel EnerGel Plena. Okay, so Pilot G-Tech. Not really any smearing. There is some minimal. I will admit, there is some minimal smearing. Not too bad though. Muji Gel Pen. Horrible. Very, very horrible. This is the Papermate Inkjoy Okay, so some smearing. Not too bad though. Honestly, it's decent, but there definitely is some smearing. Moving on to the Pigma Micron. Beautiful. No smearing whatsoever. Okay, so to put everything in review, my favorite pens of 2019. In 5th place is the Pilot G-Tech C4. It is a good pen. I just don't like the inconsistent ink. Other than that, it's a good pen. In 4th place, the Muji Gel Pen 0.5. A very affordable pen, has refills, but it smears like the dickens. It's a very good pen though. Smooth, beautiful, love this pen. Always gonna use it. In 3rd place, the Papermate Inkjoy Gel Pen in 0.5. Like I said, this is my baby. It'll always be my baby. A smooth writing experience. This is a great pen. Pick it up if you can. It does bleed through though, so be careful when you use it. I love this pen though, and I'm always gonna love this pen. In 2nd place, the Pentel EnerGel Pen. I wish I could show you more of this pen, but like I said, I'll show you guys it in my pen haul when I get some refills for this pen. Awesome pen. Could be number 1. Hard to kind of figure out whether I want it to be 2 or 1, but this is definitely the best of the best pens that I've tried. And in 1st place, the Pigma Micron. Tried and true, good pen. Prefer it more for bullet journaling, not so much for note taking because it is an artist kind of pen. Comes in a bunch of sizes, no refills though, but this is my number 1 choice, the Pigma Micron, so give it a try if you haven't already. If I had to pick, try out one of these. Okay, so that's all I have for my favorite pens. If you guys like this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and hit the notification bell so you know when I post future videos. If you guys want to support me, check out Patreon where you can get printables, stickers mailed to your door every month. It's a great way to support your favorite creators. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at maryberrystudy where you can see me posting more frequently and showing my bullet journal spreads more so as I go in the month. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. I love you guys the mostest, and I hope that your 2020 is going well. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. So, catch you then.